Yes, welcome back to the series of lectures on microprocessor and microcontroller. Myself Rajakishore, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Murray Lakshman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. In last videos, we were discussed about a micro 8051 microcontroller architecture, pin configuration, and addressing modes, instruction set, many of things. And in this video, we're going to be discuss about serial communication or a serial ports which are available in 8051 and the serial port registers like SCON, SMOD register and how to programming them. So importantly, how to write a serial port or a serial communication programming for the receiving a serial data or a transmitting a serial data. So before going for registers, let's discuss about uh, what is serial communication. As we know that any two computers want to transmit a data that can be transmitted using a parallel or a serial, where parallel is nothing but often 8 or more lines, that is wide conductors, are used to transfer a data to a device that is only a few meters. Whereas in case of a serial, it can able to transfer to a device located many meters away. A serial method is used. Okay, the data sent one bit by one. So if you take which communication is better, a serial communication or parallel communication, when if I want to implement any communication with a shorter distance and within a room, so that I can able to prefer a parallel communication. But if I want to transmit the data for a longer distance, a parallel communication is very difficult because I need those many like wires. Suppose it is a 32 bit, so 32 bit of lines need to be connected between transmitter and receiver. Whereas if I use a serial communication, one a line is sufficient where data is sent to the sender and the receiver by using bit by bit. So when we talk about the serial communication like a parallel or and serial, and if you talk about mainly on serial data communication, it is using two methods. What are they? They are called as an synchronous method and an asynchronous method. A synchronous method is transfers a block of data at a time. So when if you want to use this type of mechanism, so your transmitter and receiver must be synchronized. When if you talk about the asynchronous method, a single byte at a time, which means that one time at a time, there is not a synchronization between your transmitter and receiver. So to go for this particular synchronization and asynchronous methods, there are specially two ICs are made by the manufacturer for serial communications. Those are called as a UART and USART. Where UART stands for Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter and USART is a Universal Synchronous Asynchronous Receiver and Transmitter. So let's see a difference quickly, a difference between these two. Whereas USART using half duplex, where UART uses full duplex. In case of USART, it is going a more speed compared to UART, but UART is lesser speed. And USART use both data signals and clock signals for functioning. In case of UART, enters the data signals only for functioning. And USART data transmitted in the form of blocks, and in case of UART data transmitted in the form of bytes. UART can do its functions like UART, whereas UART can't do the functions like USART. USART is more complex than UART. Term of complex, UART is a simple. In case of USART, receiver doesn't have to know the bird piece of transmitted as gotten from information like given by the master and clock signals. Whereas in case of UART, there is no approximating clock signals that is related with the information. So the receiver has to know the baud piece transmitted before inception of gathering. So in case of USART, data is transmitted at def, uh, definite rate, where case of UART it can be transmitted with a variable speeds. So these are the few differences, because already we have known that a block diagram of UART and USART and functionalities. Time being we'll know some differences, because these terminologies we are going to be using the next sessions. So when you come for the data transfer rate, the data transfer in serial communication using a bits per second. So that bits per second is a terminology called as a baud rate. So what is this? Because when I want to connect two computers, or if I want to write a programming using 8051, so data transmitter and receiver data need to be sent serially. Since if you take IBM or a PC or a comfortable computers are widely used to communicate with 8051 systems. So we will emphasize that serial communications of 8051 with a COM port. So this COM port allows the data transmit, okay, between the PC and 8051 without any error. So we must ensure that the baud rate of 8051 system matches the baud rate of your COM port. Okay. So as for we're going to use a conductor wise to connect baud rate, and sometimes this baud rate is also called as a bits per second. Okay. Yeah. When you come for a serial ports, asynchronous and synchronous ports are there, where especially 8051 we are going to use SCON registers used to control that data transmissions, and it can be used two signals. In case of pin configuration, if you see a transmitter and received pins are used to transmit the data using this serial communication. Sometimes the clock is also used as a transmitted pin. So this 8051 serial port can work under these four modes of operation, like mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3, whereas mode 0 is called as a synchronous serial communication, and mode 1 is a 8-bit UART, okay, timer data rate, and mode 2 is a 9-bit UART of set the data rate, and mode 3 is a 9-bit UART timer data rate. So what are the registers which are related for the serial communications? So if you take S buffer is a one register which is related to the serial communication, and SCON register and the PCON registers. Let us see in-depth details about these registers now. Okay, S buffer. So S buffer is an 8-bit register which is used to for serial communication. Okay. Uh, So for a byte of a data to transfer via a transmission line, it must be placed in the NS buffer register. Similarly, S buffer holds the byte of the data when it is received by 8051 and in the receiver line. So S buffer can be accessed like any other register like 8051. So how you access A register and B register, similar fashion S buffer register can also access. Okay. So if you take for example, okay, suppose if I want to transfer some data ASCII value D into SP, so I'm writing a command move sbuff comma hash D, where is nothing but ASCII value of D will be loaded into the S buffer. Now I am moving A value into S buffer, copy the accumulator into the S buffer. So then S buffer is loaded into A. So this is nothing but what it will do. This is nothing but here. Okay. The moment a byte is written into the S buffer, it is framed with a start and stop bits and transferred serially via transmitter pin. Similarly, when the bits are received serially via received, the 8051 deframes it by eliminating the start and stop bits, making a byte out of the data received and then passing to the S buffer of a register. So that's why we are calling S buffer is used to load the data into 8051 microcontroller. So through the S buffer I am going to be load the data. So next register is an SCON register. So SCON register is an again 8-bit register used to program to start bit, stop bit, and other data bits and data framings among the other things. So the when you are seeing is a 8-bit format of your SCON register because it is an 8-bit register. So where as SM0 we can call it as an SCON.7 because it is a 7th bit. SCON.7 is a serial port mode specifier. Okay, and SM1 is also a mode specifier. We can say that is an SCON.6, and SM2 SCON.25 used for a multiprocessor communication mode. So it is make it as a 0. So REN next one is nothing but set or clear the software enable or disable reception. So okay, set or enable or disable the software. So then TB8 and RB8, those are called SCON3, SCON.3 and SCON.2 is not value. We are not using these 2 bits, and TI is nothing but an SCON.1 pin. This transmitted interrupt flag set by an hardware at the beginning of the stop bit mode. Okay, beginning of the stop bit in the mode 1 and must be cleared by the software. Similarly, RI is nothing but an SCON.0. This is a receiver interrupt flag, and it is also set by an hardware through the stop bit in mode 1 of operation and must be cleared by the software only. So these are the 8 pins. Okay, so here the in-depth details I'm giving here. So mode of operation like mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. So the SM0 and SM1, this SM0 and SM1 will tell us about the mode, which means that baud rate of F by 2 mode and 8-bit UART baud rate mode, 9-bit UART mode of 32 or 16, and 9-bit UART mode with a baud rate variable capacity. So okay, these are the things which are in SCON register. When I want to be set, the corresponding bits need to be set. Okay, whereas I said the TI and RI are the important flags which indicates whenever if I write a program for transmitting or receiving, this TI transmit interrupt flag need to be set or clear. Similarly, when I am receiving, the receiver interrupt flag should be set or clear. Okay. Then 8051 serial port mode 0. Let's discuss about the modes here. Yeah. So serial data enters and exists through RX pin. Okay, because in SCON register SM0 and SM1 of D7 and D6 of an SCON registers are used for a mode operation, and we have seen. Okay, and transmitted outputs to the clock, and 8-bit data is transmitted or received. So the baud rate is fixed by at 1 by 12, which means that each and every time I need to be divided by 12 of an oscillator frequency here. In case of mode 1, it is also a serial data enters through the received pin. Serial data exists through the transmitted pin. Once received, the stop bit goes into RB8 in SCON register. So 10 bits are transmitted or received, whereas a start bit of 1, 8 data bits and 1 stop bits. So totally in case of mode 1, I am going to be transmit 10 bits of a data. So baud rate is determined by the timer 1 overflow flag. Let's see how to calculate baud rate also in the next slide. So in serial mode 2 is following features. It is also entered through the receiver pin. It is exist through the transmitted pin. Ninth, okay, data bits TB8 can be assigned the value 0 or 1. So 1 receives the ninth data bit, goes RB8 in SCON register. there are 11 bits transmitted using a transmitter and receiver. So one start bit, okay, 9 data bits and one stop bit. So baud rate can also a programmable here. So the mode 3 serial port, mode 3 has the following feature, similar manner enters through the receiver and exits to the transmitted. Ninth data bit TB8 can be assigned a value 01. Once it is received, it goes into the RB8 of SCON register. Here also we can use a 11 bits. Okay, so the baud rate is determined by timer 1 overflow. So to programming a serial data transmission, these are the following steps we need to be used. So what is the steps? The first TMOD register loaded with 20H, indicating that timer 1 in mode 2 a 8-bit auto reloaded mode, okay, to the set the baud rate. So whenever if I want to write any serial communication programming, these are the steps we need to be follow. What is the thing? First, I need to be enable my TMOD register. Depends upon the timer 1 or 0 or a mode 1, 2, 3. That depends upon your question. Okay. Then TH1 is loaded with the value of set the baud rate of serial data transmission. So I'll tell you how to calculate that baud rate. So the immediately what you need to do, I need to be loaded with your baud rate value into the TH1 register. Then SCON register loaded with the value 50H, indicating that serial mode where 8-bit data framed with start and stop bits. Okay, mode 1 I am using so that I can load the value of 50. Okay, so then I need to be set the TR1 to start the timer 1. Then TI is cleared by using a CLR TI instruction, and I'll tell you why, what is the necessity of TI here. Then the character byte to be transmitted serially and return into the S buffer. Okay, so then TI flag will be monitored until the instructions like JNBTI jump. Okay, TI until that particular flag is not equal to 0, that condition, or non-zero, that S buffer will be continuously monitor the TI flag. Once data is transmitted, it flag will be cleared and it goes to come out. If not, it will goes to the step 5. So this is a programming procedure of a serial data transmission for data transmission. So let's see an example. Okay, suppose I have a crystal oscillator. Let's take 11.0592 megahertz. Generally, if you in the questions, if they are not specified any baud rate, we need to be considered as this 11.0592 megahertz. Or if specifies that, you can use and find the TH1 value. Okay, what is that? Why I am telling TH1 value? Because in the procedure I need to be loaded TH1 with the baud rate. So that I need to be find the baud rates of 9600, 24, 2400 and 1200. So this is the procedure. So let's take a crystal oscillator of 11.592 megahertz. Then 11.592 megahertz. Then we need to be, yeah. So the 11.5 megahertz. Then 8051 divides this crystal frequency by 12 to get the mission cycle frequency. Okay. In case of crystal oscillator, what we take is 11.0592 megahertz. The mission cycle frequency is 921.6 kilohertz. Okay, which is nothing but 11.0592 divided by 12. We got a 9621.6 kilohertz. Okay, then 8051 serial communication UART circulates and divides the mission cycle frequency of 921.6 by 32 1 hour before it used as a timer 1 to set the baud rate. Okay, so that we can get the value of 28,800 hertz. This is a number we will use throughout the section to find out programming of mode 2, timer 1, baud rates. Okay, so when the timer 1 is used to set the baud rate, the programming mode to the 8-bit reloaded mode. To get the baud rates, okay, the PC, we must use the TH1 to load the value, and these are the values here. I'll show here. Okay, these are the values here, the table, whatever the table I'm showing values, these are the values I need to be loaded corresponding baud rates. In mode 0 this is a value, and mode 1 this is a value. Okay, so to do that, this is a programming, which means that move taking a crystal oscillator divided by 12. In case of mode 1 it is 6 divided by 16, so that I got 5700 57,600, whereas 32 28,000. So how I got that? By dividing the corresponding values. Okay, so now take and write a program 80851 to transfer a letter A serially. So what is my first step? Initialize tmod with a 20h. So the 20h is nothing but tmod timer 1 mode 2 auto reloaded. So here how I wrote that one? So 20 is nothing but 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0. Okay, this is timer 0 and this is timer 1. Where? In tmod register. Yesterday we have discussed about tmod register. So where I am not using any gate signal, so gate signal is 0. I'm using as a timer, I'm using mode 2, so 1 0. So what is the value I got? 20h. So the 20h is loaded here. Okay, then move the baud rate of -6 into th1. Why -6? Because here if you see 4800 baud rate, I need to be move -6, or I need to be load FA value. So for that purpose only, so either you can write this instruction, or you can write a move th1 comma fdh. Then move SCON with a 50. So with what is this 50? How we got? From SCON register, 50 is nothing but 0 1 0 1 0 0 0. So I am using a 1 stop bit and 8 bits of a data transmitting, so that corresponding SCON register is set. So then I am turning on the bit. Sir, where this bit will be there? TR1. Again you need to recollect once again TCON register. In TCON register, TR1 and TR0. Timer 0 and timer 1 flags are there. So we said that it is for individual programming. Here I am using that particular flag going to be set. Now I am loading the first character, whatever the character I want to be transferred. That particular data is moving into the S buffer, and I am searching because the corresponding ASCII value need to be loaded serially. So I am jump not equal to that flag is going to be repeat until TI flag is set or not. Once TCI is set, then it will come out of the loop and clear the TI flag and jump again, so that whatever the next character, that will be loaded. So this is the way we need to be write serial communication programming of 8051. Okay, and if you take one more example, here I want to be transfer a message called S. So whatever the same thing, same whatever we wrote, I am initialize mode 0. Okay, timer 1 mode 2, I am using a 9600 baud rate, SCON of 8 bit, and setting a TR1 bit. I am loading a Y into the accumulator. I am calling my program. Which program? Previously whatever right, loaded S buffer, checking, cleared, and again this return instruction will comes here. Then it will load the E value. Again I am entering, again it will be loaded, again come back, again S loaded, and short jump to again. So if any new message, that will be transmitted. So this is a way we can able to write a data transmission in case of serial communication. So why we need to go for a TF flag here? So to understand the importance of the TI role, because TI will tells that interrupt is set or not, whether 8-bit data is transmitted or not can be known by using this TI flag only. So the byte of the character to be transmitted is written into the S buffer register. We know that to start the bit transferred, the 8-bit character is transferred 1 bit at a time. The stop bit transferred during the transfer of a stop bit, that 8051 raises the TI flag is equal to 1, indicating that the last character was transmitted and it is ready to transmit the next character. So by monitoring the TI flag, we can make sure that we are not overloading the S buffer register. If we write another byte into the S buffer register before TI raised, which means that before getting a TI flag enabled, if you write, so the untransmitted protection or the previous bytes will be lost. In other words, we can 8051 finishes the transmitting byte, it raises the TI flag, it indicates ready to the next character. So that is why we are checking monitoring TI flag. So after S buffer is loaded with a new byte, then TI flag bit monitored forced to the getting 0 by using CLRTI, clearing TI instruction in order to get a new byte to be transmitted. So then here we are going to see about a serial data reception, because whatever we have seen as a transmitted data, here we are going to see serial data reception, how serial data can be received. So again same procedure, loaded with the T mod register, load the baud rate in TH1, load the SCON register, set. Only the difference here is this, where I am using interrupt enabled, here I am receiving receiver interrupt. Okay, so RI flag should be monitored, and if it is buffer, the same procedure, only RI bit is gone. So the programming, this is a program. So this is step already we know that loaded with baud rate, required SCON is loaded, timer is set, monitoring RA flag to be enabled or not, character is stored in buffer, so send to some port, because I am using a receiver programming, so once received it need to be sent to the port, so send to the port and clear that. Again I'll reading this another character. Okay, this way I can able to write a programming. So what is the importance? If the receiver start bit is indicating the next bit is the first bit of the character byte is about to receive. So 8-bit character is received 1 bit at a time. When the last bit is received by the byte forced to place in S buffer, then stop bit is received. When receiving the stop bit by the 8051 makes RI is equal to 1, indicating that entire character has been received and must be picked up before getting overwriting incoming character. By checking RA flag bit when it is raised, we know that the character has been received, and the setting to the S buffer, we copy S buffer content into the safe place where another register or a memory or any port addresses. So after S buffer contains copied into the space provided, and RA flag must be forced to get 0. So I am using clearing RA instruction in order to receive a next character byte into the S buffer. Fail to do this causes a loss of receiver data. So if I am not able to do this particular procedure, we may lose the receiver data or some of the characters. Okay. So we have provision that doubling the baud rate, which means that I can able to increase my baud rate using two methods called as increasing a higher frequency crystal. Whatever the input crystal oscillator we are connecting to the 18 and 19 pin, so that can be doubled, or changing the PCON register. So PCON register is a 8-bit register, and this is your PCON register format. So when 8081 is powered to the SMOD is 0, we can start through software by the double baud rate. So these are the specification. GT1 is general purpose flag bit 1, general purpose flag bit 0. When this bit is set, PD is set, on a chip of oscillator frozen which cuts off the frequency to the CPU and peripheral functions such as serial ports, interrupts and timers. Under this mode, power consumption became less. So ideal mode nothing but sleeping mode. So this PCON register, power control register, will use whenever if I want to transmit a data more faster. Okay, so what it will do, the PD bit will be disconnects all the clock signals, required clock signals for all the other peripherals, and it is giving to only data transmissions, so that I can able to double my baud rate. So thank you very much. Until happy reading. So in the next class we are going to see about interrupts of 8051 interrupts and programming of interrupts in 8051. Until happy reading. Thank you.